Lily. Hi, Lil. So, chinchillas are probably one of the cutest animals in all of the world. I really don't think that there's any cuter. So I wanted to talk about 10 things, 10 tips for owning a chinchilla that you probably maybe don't know, and also a fact, a trivia fact. Well, it's not trivia. I don't know if it's trivia, but anyway, a man named MF Chapman brought 11 chinchillas to California in 1903. And most likely all of the chinchillas that have been bred as pets since then have come from those original 11. So I thought that was pretty amazing. So MF Chapman was working as a mining engineer for Anaconda Cooper in Chile in 1918. And one day a local native Chilean Indian brought a chinchilla he had captured to Chapman's camp in a tin can to sell. So Chapman bought the chinchilla and became more and more interested in this little animal. And from his experiences with the chinchilla, he developed a plan to obtain more of these animals and transport them to the United States. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so for the rest of the story, if you want to read more about that, I'm going to put a link to that in the comment section or down below on the video, so that way if you want to read the whole story you can. And it's pretty interesting to think that this little Lily girl is a descendant from one of those 11 original chinchillas back in from 1908. Yeah, isn't that interesting, Lily? She thinks it is. She thinks that's pretty darn interesting. We're going to have a dust bath in a few minutes. And then I've got 10 tips to tell you about owning a chinchilla that you might or might not find interesting or useful. So if you're thinking of getting a chinchilla, you can get one from either the pet store or any good reputable breeder or a rescue. A lot of people are very fond of getting chinchillas from rescues because so many times people get a pet like this and they don't fully research on it, and then they realize, oh, this isn't going to work out. This isn't the pet for me. It's not what I thought. It's too much for me, and they end up in rescues. A lot of times that happens when a young person or parents get their kids chinchillas. They're really not the kind of pet that a young kid should have. It's just not. They're not like a guinea pig. If you want to get your kids like a pet, you know, that likes being handled, that's not very active, I would say a guinea pig is a good starter pet for kids. Not a chinchilla, not at all. A teenager maybe can handle a chinchilla, but if he's got like a very busy life and not home much because of school and friends and all that, it's not going to work out, because chinchillas live a long time. They're the longest living rodent that there is. So you're going to be taking care of this baby for a long time. They live at least 10 years or more. So think about that, you know, if you're a young person, that you're going to be stuck with this chinchilla, you know, for years and years and years to come. And are you going to be able to give it or them the care that they need, the attention that they need, and so forth. I'm trying to entice Lil to go down and have her dust bath. I got it down there. And usually they cannot resist the dust bath, so I think she'll make her way down there. There she goes. I'm just going to focus here, and she'll be there in a second. Hold on. Close that. There. Okay. So, where do we go? Tip number one is a lot of people think that you can't just have a single chinchilla, that you have to have more than one. But a single chinchilla can be perfectly happy alone if you don't have to give them a lot of attention. If you can give them a lot of attention, because they'll bond to you. If you have one, it's going to bond to you and you're going to be its best friend. So make sure that if you only have one, you have a lot of time to, devote to your chinny, because she could get lonely if you don't. So if you don't have time to spend with your chinchilla pretty much on and off throughout the day, then maybe you should get two. But if you have a lot of time to spend with your chinchilla and you're home a lot, I'm home all the time pretty much, and I'm always like in and out of her room. I'm always giving her treats or visiting with her or holding her. She lets me pick her up now and give her love, and which I find very fortunate, because a lot of times chinchillas don't want to be held or won't even let you near them. So I think because she's a baby and she was socialized, she's pretty good with that. So I'm lucky. She's so sweet. And when they're that soft and you feel that fur, you don't want to let them go. It's so hard to put her back in her cage and let her down. And I bring her cage out to the main room a lot of times too, so she can hang out there with us. I don't really let her out a lot yet. She's been out into the bathroom a few times, and that goes into tip number 2. Tip number 2 is I think that the bathroom is the best place to have your chinchilla if you are going to let them out of the cage, because too many times I hear of bad things happening if you let them out in a regular room. They'll chew on anything and everything, wires, they'll chew on, they'll get into everything they're not supposed to, anything that they can, rugs, wires, pretty much anything they'll get into. Blankets, if you got, my room here, I just don't feel it's chinchilla proof. So the bathroom for us is the best place. And I kind of think that that's the best for anybody to have their chinny out. I'm still waiting for her to come down and have her bath. Here she goes. Really nothing cuter than that. Lily. Oh, okay, so tip number 3, going with her dust bath. Don't ever use sand for your chinchilla to bathe in. Chinchilla dust is made from volcanic ash, so that's what they need to bathe in. Always use a high quality chinchilla dust bathing sand, not sand, or chinchilla dust bathing, they call it sand, I think, chinchilla dust bathing sand or whatever, but don't ever use sand. Stay away from anything that is sand, or don't ever use sand from the beach. I've had so many people ask, can they use sand from outside? Can they use beach sand? Can we buy sand and use sand? But no, they have to have, it has to be dust. It has to be volcanic ash, made from volcanic ash. That's what they use. So sand is not going to work, and could actually hurt them. So don't ever use sand. Always use a good chinchilla dust. I use, this is called, chinchilla bath dust, and it's called You and Me. It's made by You and Me. KT makes a good one. There's a lot of different brands out there. And you can really only get them from the pet shop. So make sure, never use sand. So there's that. Are you done with your bath? Oops. Oh, you want to go again? You want to go again? You can go again. Oh, there goes that. All right. And the biggest thing about chins, and I've covered this before, but I'm going to say it again, is that they must be kept in temperatures between 55 to 70 degrees. So if that's not possible for you to do year round, then owning a chinchilla might not be the right pet for you, because they overheat very easily, and they're from the Andes Mountains up in the Chilean high mountain areas where it's cold, and yeah, they just that's the kind of fur they have, and they get just really hot very easily. So 55 to 70, that's the range. So a lot of people that don't have AC keep their chinchillas in the basement, and the basements seem to stay cool all year long. A lot of people's basements don't get over 67 degrees or 68 degrees even in summer. So that's a good idea if you don't have AC, you can't run AC or whatever. But if you can't have AC, then I don't recommend having a chinchilla, because they really need to be kept cool. And having ice packs or cool packs or whatever all the time is not optional. It's just not going to work out. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like, a lot of people get chinchillas and then they don't realize that these guys have to be kept at a certain temperature. And that's the main thing that think that I never got one before, was because I was worried about that. And I lived in Florida a lot of years, and even though I did have AC in Florida, it's really humid, and sometimes even though your AC is running, it's still hot. So that's kind of what kept me from getting a chinchilla. But I'm in San Diego, and it's actually pretty dry here, and it's winter now. Our summers get pretty hot these days, but still not as hot as Florida or some other places. And I run my AC. I keep it about 68 to 70 in the house. 68 to 72, I say, all the time, all year long. So that works out pretty good. So please remember, if you get a chin, that they are a prey animal. So, you know, they will take time to warm up to you and take time to trust you. They have been hunted by man for a long time for their fur, so they're pretty much extinct now. So they just have that instinct, you know, to naturally fear humans and predators. So just give your chinchilla time. Don't expect the bond to happen overnight. But there are some things that you can do to help, you know, with that bond, to develop that bond between you guys. One is like treats. You know, you can give little treats to them every day, and then they'll come to associate your hand. Like, hold out your hand, put the treat in your hand, let your chin take the treat from your hand. Another is, you know, just feed a treat and let them take it from your hand. And if you don't always have to use treats, you know, you can use pellets or hay, a piece of hay or an applewood stick, and they'll take that from you. And then they'll come to associate your hand, you know, with something positive. Or just lay your hand like in the cage and let your chin come to you and like sit on your hand. That's how it starts. Then after a while, you can just like reach out your hand and try to just give scritches. Just you know, just start slow, move really slow. They don't like, you know, any sudden movements or anything like that. So you just you know, just move slowly, let them get used to your hand, and then just start, you know, gently scritching them, and then they'll come to associate you and your touch and your smell, you know, with positive things. Ouch. She just bit my nail. Also, people do this. They put a little dust the chinchilla bathing dust on their hands, and that kind of helps the chinchilla for some reason come to your hand and you know, not fear you. To kind of, when I did that, I put some dust in my hand, and she came over and started digging in my hand, and it was really cute. So just let your chin go at her own pace and come to you when she's ready. That's really the best thing that you can do. And they usually sleep during the day, so if you're lucky enough to be active at night and up late, then that's when you're going to get your most interaction with your chinny, because I visit with her throughout the day, and she is active with me, but then wants to go back to sleep. So as you can see here, she's kind of wanting to go back to sleep. She did a lot in her cage in the night. In fact, every morning her cage is a mess and we clean. I have to go through a cleaning, a morning cleaning ritual with you guys one of these days so you can see exactly what you have to do. So if you're just trying to get your Chinny out of her cage, the best thing you can do is just put the dust bath outside, open the door, put the dust bath outside of the cage, and she'll naturally probably gravitate toward it. If that's not working, you put the dust bath inside of her cage, and then she'll go in her dust bath, and then you can like cover the top and then take her out of the cage while she's in her dust bath. So those are good ways to get her out of her cage if you need to clean, or if you're just trying to get her out for playtime. And if you have your Chinny out in the bathroom, which I think is the best place, just make sure that, you know, there's nothing that they can get into. Don't ever let a Chin get her fur wet. So if she's going to jump in the bathtub naturally, just make sure you got a towel in there and there's nothing wet in there. Make sure toilet seats are covered, and anything, you know, that they could chew on or get hurt, excuse me, on and in there, make sure that it's safe. So Chin proof your bathroom. And they do end up liking to like jump. They're natural jumpers. And some Chins will jump like from the toilet seat to the sink, to the toilet seat, to the tub. I have videos of some bouncing off the mirrors in the bathroom. I don't recommend that because one wrong move and they can get really hurt. You're at a really awkward angle. Pellet? I guess not. So, if you have your Chinny out in the bathroom, in her safe room, you can make things, playtime, interesting for her. You can, I ordered Lily a tube to run through, like, you know, those ferret tubes that are crinkly and make sounds. I ordered her one of those. You can put out their dust bath. You can even put out their wheel, some pellets and hay for treats, a log hut, you know, for them to hide in. You can kind of put out toys and make it interesting for them to hang out in. So yeah, try to make playtime as interactive as possible, you know, because they don't get much time out of their cage and that's their time. So, what are you doing, Lil? You know, you're not a plastic. Oh, it's my hair clip. No, Lily, that's not food. That's not food. I have food, but you don't want a pellet. You don't want a pellet. Okay, so moving right along. Tip number 7 would be interact with your chinchilla every day so that they can become bonded to you. Offer treats such as applewood sticks, and I've covered this, dry oats, dry carrots, a bit of shredded wheat, rose hips, goji berries, and just like pellets or hay from your hand. It doesn't always have to be a treat. And try not to give treats more than a couple times a week. Things they can have every day would probably be a rose hip, or I give her a little piece of dried carrot every day. The applewood sticks they can have every day. Don't ever, ever, ever give your chinchilla fruits or vegetables or anything like that, because it can cause, they can't digest it properly, and it can cause a condition known as stasis, GI stasis, which means everything in their intestinal system, their GI system just freezes up and they die. So yeah, they don't process sugar, they don't process starches, carbohydrates, they just don't processed stuff. You know, like guinea pigs eat tons of veggies and fruits. Not a chinchilla. Chinchilla's diets mainly are pellets and hay. That's it, with the exception of a couple of different treats that you can give. And that's it. Hi, Lily. No, Lily Lil. Yeah, she's so cute. Isn't she the cutest rodent in all the land? She really wants to go back to sleep now. So we're going to wrap this video up with just a few more things. Try not to have anything plastic in your chin's cage. Lily's not a plastic eater. The only thing plastic I still have are these shelves right here. And if you find your chin is, you know, eating plastic or chewing on the shelves, then you're going to have to replace, either cover the shelves up or replace them with like wooden shelves. Other than that, if she's not chewing on them, then, you know, I wouldn't worry about it. Mine, she doesn't seem to be interested in the shelves at all. They do like stuffed animals. As you can see, she's laying on a really soft plush stuffed animal. That's her favorite right there, and she sleeps on that all day. And I got a couple other ones in there. She doesn't seem to chew on them or be interested in them at all, so that's safe. You can cover like the plastic shelves with fleece if you want to. The only other plastic thing that I have right now is that wheel, and that's going to be gone within a couple of days. I have a metal saucer wheel like that coming. I changed the bedding out from Carefresh to aspen wood shavings, which is good. You can use aspen wood shavings or kiln dried pine. Last but not least, before I end this video, chins can die. If you have the flu, I'm not sure about the flu, but I think so. The flu and or strep throat, they can catch it from you and get what's called streptococcus, and they get like this big giant lump in their neck, and it kills them. So if you are sick and have to, you know, clean your chin's cage, try to limit contact as much as possible when you're sick, and you know, wear a mask, wear gloves if you can. Don't breathe on them, you know, don't handle them. Just use common sense and everything should be fine. So for now, we're going to end this video. Right, Lily? We're going to say goodbye for now, Lily Lil Jill. They're going to say goodbye and let you go back to sleep. And we'll see you next time. And that ends today's episode of the Chinchilla Diaries.